Welcome to Movified. It is such an honor to have the OGs, the originals. We got Santa Yarborough in the top corner. We got Josh Shipman. We got Neacail Murdock. And we got Maddie Mailers.
Let's go.
And your host, Mark Hirschi. Welcome to the Christmas year-end edition of Movified. Welcome, boys.
Oh, man, I'm so excited.
Last time we did this with all five of us was what we did the little hype video, but before that we were out in Arizona for the first episode, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right.
How long
Right
ago
by that
was
little fireplace, man. Ooh, that was back in October of, was that 23? Mark, yeah. Did we lose Mark? It's been a good solid over a year now.
How many Movified episodes have there been since then?
A lot, I think.
45.
A lot.
Is that a Canadian measurement of
a
how
lot.
many?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. We have
Is that
so
metric?
you know what I'm gonna be proud of is the fact that when Matt and I had this original conversation about, hey Mark, you know what, you should do this podcast. We were talking about the fact that I really want to do a podcast and get things going. And he's like, cool, I got a phone, we got mics, like let's get it going. The statistics are most guys that are coming out with a podcast will last about 3 episodes and then they're done. Right? It's like a 1, 2, 3, and it usually becomes really stagnant. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. There's so much editing going on. And when you are super OCD like Matt is, when it comes down to like the fine details, I mean, he was spending hours and hours in the beginning to make sure that we all looked super good on a 480p quality video camera. No, I'm joking. It was like 4K. We went from 480p to like, yeah, exactly. And, and so when I look back and think, man, we just dropped the 40th episode of Movified Mondays. We have about 3 or 4 Movified Fridays, and we have almost 10 episodes of Movified Wednesdays. It has skyrocketed to where guys are talking about it in group chats and saying, I don't need so-and-so to teach me. I just want to listen to this one episode. So I am so thankful. I'm thankful for you boys. I was telling someone the stats the other day. Episode 1, our OG episode around the fire out in, where were we? In Scottsdale, is still number 1 for most watched, most viewed on Spotify.
It's amazing.
That's badass.
And that's not even the video version either. Like they couldn't even see how pretty Neacail's smile was. Like, I mean, it was very disappointing.
Yeah, you're right. Neacail does got a good smile.
So it's great.
Whoa, shots fired.
But you know what? It's great because I've been wanting to say this point. I've been looking forward to this day because I really want to make this statement. I'm going to kind of go first before I'm going to hustle around and act like the host and start asking you guys a bunch of questions. When we first launched the podcast and we even came out with the Let's Go Boys Instagram account, there was a little bit of difficulty trying to tag guys like Josh, whether it was on Instagram or on Facebook, and trying to like make sure that, Matt had a professional name other than, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah, I know. That would battle in itself.
And we all slowly over the past year in 2024 have made sure that our, from our personal pages to our business pages have upped the game. And I say this because when I am tagging guys that have been on my podcast and I can't find them on Facebook, when I can't find them on Instagram, when I can't find them on LinkedIn, it is mind blowing. If you are a business leader, if you are a business owner, like figure your shit out, get a Facebook page, get an Instagram page, and get a LinkedIn page. And the funniest part is when I actually found, so I was looking for a guy the other day and I found him to be on the podcast. And as I'm scrolling his page, and it's already been like added as a friend. So, sometimes when they're not a friend, you only get the weird random like posts. But like this was like, you are a friend already. And I'm going down here. Nothing told me that he was a moving company owner. How are you striving within your company and actually telling your staff, hey guys, like our page, hey, share this, hey, do this, hey, do that, when you yourself are not making sure that everybody knows you have a moving company? Like everybody knows Austin has a moving company, period. I mean, we were all at his wedding the people there, the staff, like the groundskeeper was like, oh, that's Austin. Oh yeah, from Central Coast. Oh yeah, I know him from the blue shirt. Like it was like that intense. And that's how you should be as a business owner. Going into 2025 for myself, that is the one thing that I am making evident with my staff, with my team and everything as well, to make sure that we in the culture are sharing, are liking, and then also going out there and make sure that you're liking and sharing the people around you, right? The realtors, the mortgage brokers, the networking groups that you're in, the barbershop. Like these are all things that we already know, but you should be really stepping it up. That's my 2 cents until it's one of you guys asking me a question. But like I was just like floored when I was looking at business company owners and they just had nothing about their moving company. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, and if you don't know how to do it, you should get Austin Yarborough's social media playbook.
When I decided to try Mover Marketing AI's social media posting service, I wasn't sure what to expect, but they really surprised me. They were able to capture the essence of my company's brand with professional and perfectly crafted content. Now they manage my social media, posting tips, reviews, and relevant content while I get to focus on my business. For just $300 a month and no long-term contracts, I enjoy peace of mind and strong digital presence without any of the hassle. If managing social media feels overwhelming, I 100% recommend Mover Marketing AI's social media posting service. You won't regret it. Just go to movermarketing.ai/deal and fill out your information and get your free week of social media posts exclusive for Movified listeners. You won't regret it. 100%. Oh, I like that transition. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
So Austin,
some of us are a little older and might need VAs, a Ready Roll or a Hey Lou or somebody like that to help us out with it. You guys have definitely enlightened me into a lot of this stuff. I'm almost 55. So a lot of this stuff I wasn't familiar with. You guys made me up my Instagram game and all of that. So I appreciate you guys, but if you don't know what he's talking about and don't know how to do it, that social media playbook, I've given it to like 4 or 5 relatives that have businesses outside of moving, and they're just like blown away by it. So great job on that one, Austin.
Thank you. I've got a new nugget for everyone too. So like Mark, I see Mark already took this on. I think I challenged the 3 of you to do it too, but get the official little blue check by your name on Instagram. That's, of the moving companies right now, that's the next like GoPro mode. I think that, for your company and yourself, like that's the big move right now.
Meta verified.
Yeah, baby.
Full verified action.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
Or verified is even verified thing.
Get verified. Get verified. Austin, you know what? Your year of 2024 has been exponential. And I really kind of want to touch base on some of the things you've done, especially when, we look at your business scaling 50% over this past year where other companies were failing and kind of going backwards. I mean, we see the post, we were like, oh, I'm not busy. Oh, this is slow. How are you guys doing it? And here's good old Austin, just killing it in his market. So I want to hear what you've been doing in the last 6 months, especially, and why things like coaching, why things like setting the goals and actually hitting those goals are so important as a business leader.
Thank you, Mark. Goals right now started with like self-development and like what I put in mindset. I put this number on the board and was like, let's hit this number. And it was 30% above last year. And we beat that goal by 20% now. And I think one of the biggest like influences was like taking myself more seriously, like the gym wake up at 5:30, get to the gym at like 6 or slightly after every single day consistently. And then, we put in some fitness challenges this summer and then a weight loss challenge and a step challenge. And so like, we're kind of like on board and starting to like get in unison together. And then in the meantime, I also said, everyone was so concerned on like how many leads you get, what's your close ratio? And I was reading this book called The 4 Disciplines, 4DX. And it was all about like lead and lag measures. Like the lag is the measurement. So let's just say how much in sales you're doing. And the lead measure is like the influences and the things that are going into that. And so, I set a number on the board, like this is our lag measure. We need to sell this much per day. And then this is our main goal and this is our extended goal, or a minimum goal and our extended goal. And the team had like an opportunity to grade themselves at the end of every day and feel accomplished. Like, am I hitting my goal? Close ratio and leads aside, it's all about who's putting numbers on the table, on the table, right? And then we analyzed like the lead measures, like what influences created that, and we started really understanding like, okay, referrals and repeat clients and affiliates. And so how are we generating those? We were doubling down, going to as many group events. I just literally got back from Women in Business. My wife came on board this year. Aligning my personal self. I think there's a commitment to, like, I even changed my Instagram from Austin Yarborough, or Yobro, to Austin_Central Coast Moving. And the reasoning behind that was at the Titan event, I saw that like everyone, Greg with Graceful Moves did that. And I was like, oh, it's kind of a big commitment. Realtors do it. I don't know how I feel. Well, I noticed that when people searched, when I was trying to share my handles on Instagram, it was like Central Coast Moving and then Austin. And it was a bitch. They're like, which one do I send them to? Even if you have the links on the profiles. So now when people search Central Coast Moving, me and the company come up. And, me being a brand ambassador, that's important. And then you look at leadership first and then influence. My team, like Jay's doing it right now. He's building his social media outlet. It's J_Central Coast Moving. So I think like what you're saying, Mark, is completely in line with social media. And that's another thing that grew us this year. I know for a fact, Matt, Mark, and Neacail have been just doubling down on the social media. And I know Murdock's business is just thriving. He's also doing some big numbers this year, growing. And I really think that like the virtual assistants and getting the support and delegating these challenging items and actions that you can't maybe commit to yourself is like the only way to do it. It's the only way to afford it. And it's the only way we're going to grow, especially if we're also battling with AI in the background. Like, we need soldiers and then AI soldiers right next to them. And the virtual assistant soldiers are fighting for us. And they're an extension of you deep down. And then the VA trained the next VA. And I've actually found more success in training one really strong, virtual assistant, Nina. Shout out to Nina. And then she's been like, who do you need help with? We hired a customer success, role. We hired a, social media role. We hired an accounts receivable, accounts payable role. We hired 2 new salesmen. So like, choose new sales assistants. So it's like, that's how you grow the foundation of your virtual assistant army. So what do you think, Mark? Did I hit it on the head?
I like it. Josh, were you taking notes here? I just want to make sure that you were, I know things are a little bit slower for you, age-wise, that I just want to make sure that shots fired.
Apparently my marketing person that I have isn't upping our social media game. So I guess I've got to get back on Monday Pun Day. I guess I need to the Shipman official.
Yeah.
Where's your Wellness Wednesdays? Like we always look forward to that. Neacail, and I kind of want to flip over to you, Neacail, because we're talking about the social media, and one of the biggest things that we've all noticed is Murdock's Moving and Storage took like a massive 180 when it came to posting, and the quality of videos and the reels and the testimonials, the video testimonials are like so good that, like, how did you do it? What did you do? What steps you take? I mean, we kind of briefly talked about VAs, but can you go a little bit deeper into like what you were doing? What's so important of your approach in 2024 that really upped your social media game?
Yeah, so thankfully, shout out to Austin, being a really good friend of mine. I've gotten to like get some of that one-on-one with him to kind of give me the steps to grow it big. And this was like probably end of 2023. He was like, look, man, you really need to do this. Like he took something from Andy Elliott, that everybody's consuming social media, right? So be the creator. And I really took that. So I was like, all right, so there's a few steps that you need to do. And I'll be the first to admit it. I don't really like social media. I don't like posting. I'm not a good video editor. So I knew I had to get those off of my plate, right? What I am good at is getting the raw content, right? Going and filming stuff and getting the stuff that to use for these social media accounts. So I just kind of doubled down. I bought some equipment online, shout out to Matt for helping me out with that. And just going out and getting the raw content. And then I hired out a VA to, and I specially told the person that gets these, the headhunter, that this is what I want, right? And this is what I look for. Interestingly enough, the first 4 candidates that this person got for me, I didn't really like. But I was kind of like in a hurry, and I was like, oh, whatever, just hire it. And I was like, you know what would Austin do? I was like, nope, get me another 4. Let's do this again, right? And so finally on that second set of 4, I found the person that was like for me. I was like, oh, I really like this guy. So boom, got him on board, got all the raw content. And then I also created a reward system internally for guys to get filmed content on site when they see good stuff. They get rewards for testimonials. I mean, think about it. If they get a video testimonial that they did such a good job, probably no damages, right? No complaints and no refunds. So I'd rather give the guys the money than, this customer back some money. And so it just kind of reinforces them doing a good job. I get content. And, what I really want to do is I'm in a process of updating my website. I want a whole page focused on testimonials, right? Where a potential client can go and see real hand information that, we do such a great job that people want to talk about it.
I like how you're talking about the fact that, when we go through an interview process for a VA, we're also so fast to pull the trigger. We're hiring in our office, when we're hiring a mover, and now we're hiring someone that's working remotely. And especially when it comes to social media, it's quite funny, because I remember when I was trying to find my VA and I had a backup where I was like, oh, this person's really good, but it might not work so much for my company. Right. And I look at like you're the stuff that you're putting out totally works for Murdoch's. It might not work for Salmon's. It might not work for coastal carriers. But then I said to Matt, and I was like, dude, I think I got this perfect person for you. You should check him out. He's like, oh, am I getting your sloppy seconds? I said, kind of, but don't worry. This is good. He checks them out. And the video stuff that Matt's getting is like perfect. Like for the iHauliMove, for the moving, all the things that are coming out, it's like, boom, like you couldn't ask for a better person, and it just worked out so perfectly. Matt might attest to it, but I think it looks so good on all the stuff that's coming out for him. But just like you're saying, when you're trying to find someone, this is for people that are looking for VAs, right? Just to add on to your thing, to your story, is that make sure that they are the right fit. And one of the things that I did really well was I said, here's a bunch of video, here's a bunch of images, create me a static image, like create me like, a design for what you would do for a post, 1 or 2 posts, create me a reel that you would take these videos for and do it. Because for me, I'm like you, I'm like, here's all the raw content, here's a Google Drive, figure the shit out, and let's see what happens. And that really made the interview process even more cleaner, because I could see what they were going to do, what they were going to provide. And I go, okay, cool. Now I really like you. Why did you do this? And I then asked all those different questions. So now, Neacail, to also top off, you were heavily in 2024 doing office moves. I noticed that you took on some big projects, and I really want you to elaborate on like how that worked for you, what worked best, and how did you achieve getting these accounts?
Yeah, so that's pretty multifaceted. We did do a lot of commercial work in 2024, like a lot. It stems from, I'd say being the loudest mover in my area, right? So people just think of me on top of mind. B, a lot of affiliates, a lot of word of mouth. Like we moved several realtors' offices. We've moved several lenders, right? We've moved a few people that are outside of the industry. And one that comes top of mind is like one of my Raymond James in town. We just did a quote on, it's going to be a 2-day move, 2 trucker. I love commercial moves just because I think that that's a much easier client in my mind. And I think that it's just a smooth move all the way around. And then of course, I also have been targeting SEO with my with our web guy and our SEO management. So we've really fleshed out our commercial page and keywords and, adding all of this in. So if you did search commercial mover in my area, we're going to pop up and we're going to be high on that ranking. So I think all of them together kind of influenced a lot of those commercial moves.
Something that happened in 2024 that you would love to have changed, And what was something that came out of 2024 that you were like, man, this is gold?
As me as an owner or just the company in general?
Both.
So me, I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs, have this issue of delegating, right? Getting stuff off of your plate that you could, spend your time elsewhere. So I felt like I had to do these tasks, right? Like these were my tasks and I couldn't get them off my plate. No, you can get them off your plate and, free up your time to work on the business and not in it. I joked around. I wanted to get a hat that said "in it" on the front and "on it" on the back. You're working in it, forward, right, and turn it around, and you're on it. So I'd say delegation is one of those things that I was really trying to work towards. So that you could. There was a podcast I actually listened to on Movified where I forget who the guest was, but he's like, "Can you leave for 3 months, 4 months, and go on a vacation, and your business will run like it is now?" So that's been my goal, is to have the business just run smoothly without me. I've been sick for a few days. So unfortunately, like I've got about 800 missed calls, texts, and emails where I'm just like, okay, no, it can't, right? I'm not there yet. What's worked well is culture. I worked really hard in 2024 to develop a very good culture over here. I can't tell you how many employees we have that came from the other side of the fence at a different company in my area. And I always ask them, I'm like, what about us do you like better than where you were? And I'm not going to name drop anybody, but they were just basically like, God, it's just so much better over here. They can't even tell me exactly what, but they're just like, just from the top down, everybody gets along better. Everybody shows up on time. The trucks are cleaned out, and there's just more enthusiasm with the workforce. So I do a lot of internal rewards, probably too much if you ask Brian Slater. Shout out to Brian if he's listening to this. But, we do a lot of internal rewards because Tommy Mello talks about, if all you do is pay your people an hourly wage, that's all you're ever going to get out of them. So it's like intrinsically, people work for money, right? What do they want? They want money. They don't want a pizza party, maybe that would be fun, but people want, at the end of the day, more money. So what do? I create bonus structures to influence great work and behavior to get them more money, right? So that's worked well.
I like that.
What hasn't worked well is my TV damages. So I'm still trying to figure.
Shit. Are you not using TV boxes all the time?
Boxing them, man, but that big old bulky TV box is just not in every truck. And, I've had my VA notating, hey, 55-inch plus TV on site. And I tell these guys, you could tell them till you're blue in the face, but, sometimes they cut corners, right? And you can't be on every move. So, it's just frustrating sometimes. We're not perfect over here.
Yeah. Just had an 85-inch, like a few days ago.
Hell yeah.
Completely break on a guy. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, we don't do the TV boxes because they were too many various sizes to keep track of. So I don't know about you guys. We just do picture packs, but
that's what we use, Matt.
Yeah, we pad the hell out of it.
Or the 4-way corners and then do a wardrobe on the inside.
Exactly. So we do something extremely similar, and somehow like just the top just did micro damage. And I think I've always seen that anything over even 70 inches, you start really opening the gates to risk. We do $1 per inch is what we charge to move TVs. It kind of outweighs when we have to pay for them, right? We were lucky this guy was a good person, and he was a doctor, and he took $500 to settle. So, I mean, I think he said he paid $5,000 like 2 years ago. So we probably got off pretty cheap in the scheme, but it's still, it's just one of those hard things to move for people, man. So
the only good thing with TVs is that in reality, in 2 years, that $5,000 TV was probably worth like $600.
Dude,
the prices go down.
I know. I was looking on Best Buy, and when I searched, I was like, man, this is the perfect time to break a TV. It's like $700.
Yeah.
I was like, right before the holidays.
Yeah, where's that Black Friday sale, right?
Right before the new models in March, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, listen, I'm sorry. I feel your pain, and I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I know that's a big pet peeve for you. So
it is
please
not.
Finish what you were saying.
No. I was finished, Matt. Thank you.
I'm embarrassed. Sorry.
Don't be.
Watch it, Matt. Anytime of more interruptions, Josh is gonna like slap you from the screen. So be careful.
One other thing
that's putting me on this. Now I'm the enforcer.
I am just trying to make the best transitions possible because I know that Mr. Shipman at Coastal Carriers definitely has. Mr. Shipman.
Did you say Shipman or Shipman?
I said Shipman.
There you go. Now you're
shit.
instigating.
Hi, I'm Mark Hirschi with Salmon's Moving and Storage. Today, I want to talk about tying up training. Why?
because this is Netflix grade quality training. It's not those old videos and VHSs that you got hiding in your office somewhere. It's online, it's easy to use, they're short videos, but they get to the point. My new employees, these guys run through these training programs, there's tests at the end, and they're coming out going, oh, I'm ready to rock. So if you haven't checked out Tighten Up Training yet, get a demo done, get on board. Guess what else is there? Online portals for my sales staff. Can you believe it? These guys can learn how to overcome objections and book more leads today. So what are you waiting for? Go check out Tighten Up Training today.
He's
Jeez,
pushing.
Mark,
He's pushing
Mark.
lines on here.
That's
You
rude.
guys are killing me here. There's been some highs and lows, would you not say, in 2024? And I think some of the lows came at the end, but I really want to touch on these parts because a lot of guys, you know, you might hear them talk about it, but they really don't, it doesn't get really expressed, or, you know, before you know it, it's happening to you and you're like, shit, how do I fix this? What do I do? And I'm talking about audits. I'm talking about lawsuits and how to, you know, what do you do in this situation? So Josh, I want to kind of hear both things. Let's talk about the audits first, because I noticed it recently happened to Neacail on like the DOT, right? So this happens in businesses, but this is a little bit fresher for Josh. So can you talk a little bit about this? And then we're going to get to your highs.
Sure. Going through an FSMCA audit right now, and you know, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. You know, the reality of the situation is we get very few inspections. Our trucks get waved through, and of recent, the couple that have been inspected had a violation. So those of you who don't know about your SAS score, look it up. It's associated with your Federal Motor Carrier Safety Association page. And if you cross a certain percentage, you are in a threshold that you get inspected every single time. So we had 3 tickets, 3 stops that turned very negative. One was a cell phone, which turned into a shutdown because 2 days prior he hadn't closed out a night on his e-log. And that ended up being like 27 points right away. Over the past 3 years, I had a total of 20 negative points. And then in a 2-month period, that one was like 27 points, I think. I had another driver who was on his way out, just decided that he wasn't going to do an e-log. He had his license suspended unbeknownst to us. He had missed court for a ticket 2 weeks prior. And he had something else wrong. So that ended up, and he got shut down. So it's 10 points for every shutdown. A major infraction is 10 points. I mean, these things, you know, one stop can really add up. So all of a sudden, I was over 80% out of compliance with the number of inspections that I had versus the number of tickets that had been given. So, you know, I can look at it this 2 ways. I can yell and scream, or I can get better. You know, so one of the things that we're doing moving into 2025 is just doing a better job. at a new operations manager, and some of the stuff, he was just assuming that seasoned drivers were taking care of it, you know, and it's just one of those things where no matter how basic it is, you know, this is something that has to be reminded every single morning. Hey, make sure your logbook's up to date. Hey, make sure you're getting your weigh ticket. Make sure you have your BOL. Make sure that you have a copy of your medical card with you. Make sure, you know, just all these little things that you think a professional driver is going to take care of every day. You got hourly employees on some of these guys. So we've just really taken the approach of making sure that everything is better. And we have reached out to the inspection officer who's going to be doing the audit, and we've actually invited him to the warehouse to do a roadside check on one of our trucks with all of our foremen there in the new year. So instead of shying away from it, being scared of it, I'm embracing it. You know, we might get a fine, we might get penalized, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, that's not up to me, but how I react is up to me. So what we're going to do is just try to be better going into the new year. And we're making sure we've actually had some trucks go out and roll through the weigh stations, and you know, we know where a couple of them are, just so we can get our inspection number up, and we know they're compliant. We know the guys' logbooks. So, we're doing everything in our power to try and reverse the percentage, but sometimes things just happen. You have to make sure that you're documenting everything. If you don't have documentation when they come to look at your files, they'll say, well, you just don't care. So we're making sure that we reprimand, document, train the proper way to do it. And, things are just going to keep on getting better. So
Are you building playbooks? Sorry to cut you off. Are you building playbooks or some type of documentation online, like through Trainual or Loom or anything else for this type of documentation? Or is it just going into something like a Samsara or just like a Google Doc?
it's going into a Google Doc right now, and in the new year, we're going to start a new channel where we have all of our. We're probably going to end up going with Slack. There's a couple other out there that we're having some conferences with coming up, but we're probably just going to do a Slack channel that has all the SOPs in it and also our employee handbook, so that if a person is in a situation that they're able to research it just in case they can't get in touch with somebody right away. That's one of the things that really happened in 2024 for me, was stepping away and letting my operations manager take care of the day-to-day. So a lot of trust goes along with that. I mentioned it in a coaching group I'm a part of. Being okay with things getting done 80%, but sometimes that 20% that you aren't, you're allowing to happen so that the person can grow in that position. Sometimes they have huge consequences, and because of that, we'll step right into the next thing. I got 2 lawsuits against the company right now. One of them, we were moving warehouses about 2.5, 3 years ago, and the trash company, we asked for them to transfer it, and they sent over a document. It had all the prices listed. Looks like it was the same pricing, but in the fine print, they added 50% fuel surcharge or something crazy. But it ended up, by the time we caught it, it was $12,000 in charges above what we had been paying. And we'd been with this company for 12 years. So we tried to negotiate with them, and they were just like, nah, pay the 12,000 and we'll take it back to your old prices. And I told him to come pick it up, unbeknownst that he had signed a 5-year contract. So they're trying to get damages for 5 years worth of stuff. So we turned that over to legal. It's not fun. I've got to go do a deposition tomorrow morning. One day before our Christmas party, 2 days before we start our Christmas break. So, hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And then, and it goes right back, documentation. What's the process? We've got another lawsuit where we're being named in it. There was another operation here in town, and I won't throw shade on them, but they were storing in a self-storage facility, and they had marked all over their website how awesome their facility was and everything would be protected, and they put it into a self-storage unit. It had a leak in it, and it had rats. The customer contacted the company to move it out, and they were unavailable. So they gave us the key and said we could go do it. And when we opened the door, we started taking pictures, and we called the customer right away. So they're trying to displace the blame that any of the damage on the unblanketed, unprotected furniture that was the rats had burrowed into a custom made sofa. So they're suing them for like $100,000, and they're saying that we're responsible since we did the final transport of the furniture for everything except the rodent infestation. And then they're trying to sue the storage unit for that. So that one, we just went straight to the insurance company. It's almost laughable, except that we're going through this. And as some of us know, sometimes the insurance companies, they'll settle out and raise your rates. So you have to be very diligent with the adjuster. You have to constantly be in touch with them. You have to let them know what your intentions are, or they'll just take it upon themselves. We've had that problem happen before where they have settled things that were clearly not our fault. And we're like, hey, what happened here? And they were like, oh, you turned it into us. And we were like, yeah, to fight it. And they were like, oh, well, we didn't know you wanted to fight it. And it's like, so you just have to be careful on things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity for continued growth, which is fine. I embrace that stuff. We've got some awesome things happening at the company. I love what Neacail was talking about with culture. Moving out of the day-to-day operations, I lost touch with the guys. I really embraced being able to see them every single morning. But it's 100% awesome to have somebody doing it 80% of the time. And I get to see my daughter every day. I get to take her to school. I get to spend time with her. She just turned 4 this week. So like, yeah, like that's the joy right there. Um, so I implemented something to help with our culture, help with our training, help with morale, and we do, a little shout out here to the Tighten Up team. For our company, the Tighten Up training works great because I have a lot of employees and sometimes I have a lot of turnover. So something to speed up their learning process has been awesome for me. And every Tuesday, we've done this 7 weeks in a row, which is more consistent than anything we've done in a long time. We've had a lot of great ideas that just didn't pan out. We weren't consistent with it, but 7 weeks in a row, I've gone in. I got a culinary degree when I was younger, and I go in and I whip them up a great breakfast. We do a couple of training videos. We have a little contest, and we send them off on their day, and it has been awesome. So every Tuesday we do that, and it's just a great way to get everybody together, share a meal, do a little bit of training consistently. We've talked about the Tommy Mello talks about the companies that are training all the time don't need to train. The companies that need to train aren't training, and I took that to heart and I said, well, let's break it up and let's make it fun. Let's make it about culture. Let's make it about morale. And everybody has embraced it. And it's neat to see the guys that are really good movers helping the newer guys after they've watched the video. These guys like showing off their skills, so it's just been awesome for morale. We're 15% up over last year, not counting our new branch that we opened up. That's doing real well. We've got Google reviews going through the roof. I've done something similar to what Austin was talking about. We've really looked at where our money's coming from and we've doubled down on those things. We are not attacking social media because it's just never been a big thing for us. There are so many other companies in our area doing it that we're really going to have to buckle up and figure out. And I think that's me. I think that's my personality that I have to put on there. Because just running ads with our trucks isn't going to differentiate us from everybody else who's running ads with their trucks. So hopefully we'll see some more Monday Punday, Wellness Wednesday. We love doing our 5-Star Friday and highlighting our movers and what a great job they're doing. They love seeing themselves on there and just embracing the new year as it comes along. It looks like the market is good out there. There's plenty of people moving in southeastern United States, and we're capturing a lot of that. So we're excited and continuing to learn friendships, networking. I've learned more from you guys as we sit there and we have our group chat. And I probably ask more questions than anyone in the group because a lot of it is new. Hearing new ideas, hearing fresh takes on stuff, technology, how you guys are embracing it and all the things that you're doing with it. Like if I wasn't part of this network, if I wasn't part of you guys, I mean, how am I going to hear it? Because I'm not talking to the other moving companies in my area. Conferences, sometimes they're hit or miss. If you interact with other people, sometimes you hear something good, sometimes you don't. But the constant, and when I say constant, I wake up some mornings because all of you guys are West Coast time. I'm East Coast time. So I'm asleep when half of the conversations go on and I'll wake up and I'll have 107 unread messages. And I'm like, what were they talking about last night? And, it's just fun to go back through it. And I love the friendship that all of us have because it's hard to have friends in the industry in the same area that you're in. That's the ops. That's the competition.
I laughed at when a couple of weeks ago, we were all posting, how much, what are we looking at in social media, when you go on your iPhones and you can see
Sure.
what your productivity was. And my number one was my messages, like texting. And then legit, like within the next 2 days, the amount of texts that we were doing just in our group, I'm like, well, no wonder I'm on my phone texting all the time, because if it's not with you guys, it's with like Brian and Steven about like, the Movified Wednesdays. It's about like staff that's messaging me. It's my wife messaging me. Like I am on text messages like nonstop. Like I
Agree.
yeah, for sure. Josh, before we end, I really want to give a shout out to Coastal Carriers. There was a hurricane that blasted through, and we all saw it on social media. Your company really came in huge with helping. Can you talk about that and like that culture that must have just like it's so built already within your company about everybody coming together to help this cause?
Our tagline for our company is moving you to make a difference. So we are constantly involved, not only through the employees, but through our community and trying to help others, especially, we're huge in the recovery community for all of our guys. And then, there's so many needy charities out there that have such a need for help. And we've got the resources, we've got the warehouse, and we had supplies coming in. So we've got 56,000 square feet in Wilmington, North Carolina. And Wilmington Response is a nonprofit group that works. And we had, oh my goodness, I saw 10 trucks leave out one day. We sent up multiple trucks. We were just getting inundated with donations. And, it's just something that we've been through. We've been hit hard by a couple of hurricanes right on the coast. And to be able to participate in the relief efforts that usually we are the recipients of, to be able to participate in the relief efforts was just incredible. Seeing all the influx of donations that came in from our town, from our community.
Didn't the mayor come out too?
The mayor came out. He gave us our props for helping out. I mean, it was
Amazing.
incredible.
Amazing.
And we just had a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good companies out there. I saw Chris Sweet doing a lot of stuff. He was right on the edge of it. Swamp Rabbit, big shout out to you. I watch him. He inspires me. But seeing all these guys out there that were doing everything and being able to be a part of that, it just, we're very fortunate in the industry that we are in to have this opportunity to help so many people, not only within our company, but within our community. And we've always just felt like that was something very important to do. So when they came and said, hey, can we use some warehouse space? Can you run some trucks up? Can we facilitate in your parking lot, having donations come and have it, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. We didn't even hesitate when we said, of course. So they just sent out a bunch of stuff to the schools for Christmas, and it just, to see some of the photos that came from up there and to think about what these people are going through, it's just horrible. It's horrible. So to be able to be a part of the relief effort has just really been awesome. Yep. Thank you for mentioning that, Mark.
Well, to me, I think it's tremendous when you can help out in your community, and the way Coastal Carriers came together was remarkable, and it was amazing to watch it on social media. I bet you if all of us were close by, we'd have loved to all help out. Maddie,
Good job, Josh. Woo!
good job. Shout out. It's funny though, in all the photos, I never saw Josh actually there. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Behind the scenes, baby. Behind the
man.
scenes.
That's right.
Come on.
Maddie, you've had an amazing year, and I kind of want to hit on like this, and if I hope, and you can kill me if you and you can stop me as I'm talking, but when we look at Matt's moving company, right? iHauliMove, there were certain situations where social media was like, it was okay. Nothing crazy. And basically everything that Matt was, I'm not finished. Hold on. Everything that Matt goes through with having this small moving company that is, to me, produces great. When he tells me his numbers, the numbers are still fantastic. But there are guys out there, there's guys listening that go through the highs and lows that Matt shared with us as a group, which is, man, I don't know if I really want to be in the game anymore. Man, like this part's frustrating. This guy's not showing up. These guys are fucking pissing me off. Oh, there's a damage here. Like, guys don't talk about it enough where, like, as entrepreneurs, this stuff happens. I remember talking to somebody the other day where it's like, you know what? Maybe your rent increased by $10, but one of my trucks just hit a sign and I'm going to get hit with like a $5,000 bill. Like, there's things that happen that are so infuriating and frustrating that you just kind of want to be like, mic drop, I'm out of the game, and you turn around, but there's, I even get a thumbs up. But my point behind it is that with resilience and determination comes these amazing new goals. right? And when I look at the amount of effort that Matt puts into everything he does, he never allows anything to drag by. Like nothing he touches is like half-ass. And it's amazing because there's guys out there that are struggling that maybe need that extra push. Matt, I want you to share a little bit about your journey over the last year on the moving side, but then I want you to also talk about the highs and lows that have been with Movingletters.ai and just getting that business going and how well that's doing and what 2025 looks like for the mail out game.
I've been in the game a long time, right? And I kind of came out right as a 21-year-old right into business in 2008. And so it's been a long time coming with moving. And I kind of got to a point where it's like, hey, there's got to be something else out there that speaks to me, right? I mean, being a mover is not a bad thing. And I didn't truly ever embrace it quite the way Austin does. So shout out to Austin, obviously, like you said, being at his wedding and getting all those shout outs from friends and family to him, the way he's let other people embrace it. I always was almost embarrassed to be a moving company owner. Like, what are people going to think of me? I just move furniture. Like anyone could do that, right? And I kind of beat myself up about it probably way too long than I should have until I found you guys. So thank you. But, it is something to be celebrated. We help people in the community. We do a good job. And so, yeah, the big thing that happened is obviously doing a new business and adapting yourself into a business that's a completely different pivot of business to business, right? B2B versus business to consumer. It can really open your eyes on, man, this moving company thing is kind of crazy. It's definitely nuts, right? I think maybe that just enlightens things. I could blame it on economy. I could blame it on the hiring pool. I could blame it on all these things. Most of it kind of does blame and falls onto my shoulders. Like at the end of the day, if there's things to blame, it's because I'm kind of not there to care anymore, right? And I've kind of put people in place to try to excel at that. And I haven't given it the attention it deserves right now. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's been definitely it's been a run, right? But I think, with the letter game, we're going to be doing some interesting things.
Yeah, well, I know all of us in a group are always so proud of you with the things that you're pumping out. And I think, I know especially me and Matt, we run this like shiny object game, right? We love the new toy. We love the new ideas. And we're always chasing that. Oh, what's this? What's that? And a lot of us, when we are like, cool, I got my business. The moving business is good. Lots of people that have been on podcasts or listened to a lot of my episodes, we talk about the different types of divisions you can have within your moving company. But a lot of guys go, oh, I'm going to start a junk removal. I'm going to start a cleaning business. I'm going to actually take it a step further. And there's guys that are in the industry that are like, I'm actually going to start a whole accounting division, right? Like something totally different that sure, it might be somewhat. I mean, you could look at the moving letters and say, okay, well, it's part of the moving game. So it's part of the business that I'm in. But in reality, it's not. What are you typing in, Austin? What do you got? Moving division? You're just subbing it up?
The moving division. There he is.
He's doing a virtual estimate right now.
I know, 100%. But my point is that we end up sometimes getting lost and we get distracted. We get distracted because we're like, wow, this department's working so much better than I was in originally. And we're like, cool, I'm just going to go this route. And then we forget. And in reality, if we can structure our businesses effectively, and I think Matt is on that track for 2025, it's going to be like, I got the moving business that's running, it's being efficient, and then we got the moving letters that's part of it. These guys, as I'm talking, are writing. If you're not watching this video and you're just listening, they are writing like subtext in here. I actually didn't even know this could be done, but I'm watching this. Neacail has the best to ever do it. And Austin Yarborough has moving division, which I don't even understand what part of that is. But Matt, let's talk about moving letters. Like you started this business, you kind of went in it, you had no idea what you're getting yourself into, but you had this vision of what you wanted to get out there. So like, can you tell me what that looks like, how you've grown it? I mean, you've exploded onto the scene and everybody knows who you are. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, of course, man. So, let's touch on it. You know, like I do have shiny toy syndrome. I think you guys could probably all attest to how many times I've messaged you guys and been like, check this out. Check out this idea I'm working on. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know. Now I see kind of where my kid gets it from when she brags about everything to her friends, but I do have that. And I think it's a part of me. It's a part of my ADD. It's part of like, it could be a superpower. It could be also like a big downside. I easily get distracted. Some days I feel like I go away not making an accomplishment, right? Like back when the day when I was on trucks, I could actually move a home and at the end of the day be like, shit, I did that. And it's all over and they're in their home comfortable, right? Nowadays, it's like I have 14 different little projects in my brain that I'm working on all at once. But yeah, to talk about kind of the success and going into 2025 and us landing on kind of our laurels here on 2024 was all thanks to this group. Like between Austin and Neacail, when I was doing direct mail for myself, I was going through and cleaning the list. The provider I was using wasn't using NCOA. They weren't cleaning their data. And so I offered to Neacail, hey man, I'm already doing this. Why don't you let me just kind of start doing this for you, clean your list, make sure we're kind of cutting some people that may have already moved. And that kind of started this whole thing where Matty Mailers was born, right? At the time, we didn't know the name, but he was born. But I started helping people like, Austin, and I can't help Josh. Obviously, he does a really good job at his mail, but regardless, at the end of the day, it was cool to see like the support of, hey, maybe there's something here. And when we found out about what we could do that wasn't in the marketplace, right? Like everyone grew a little stagnant on the same postcards. They were a little boring. They're a little played out. And I remember a post in one of the Facebook groups where there was like 10 postcards and they literally all had the same saying and the same coupon. And I was like, you remember that? And I was like, there's gotta be something different out there. There has to be someone who can do it different. And in conversations with you guys, Austin, and research online, I found a way to possibly do that. And we hit the mark. And obviously now we're innovating. We're the guys who are out there consistently trying to do better things. What could we do? Could we add wax stamps to the mailer? Could we do golden tickets? Thank you, Santa Yarborough. Could we, what else could we do with these mailers that would change the game? And we're continuing to do that going into 2025. I think chasers are going to chase. They're going to continue to try to catch up with some of the stuff we're doing. But it's interesting. I'm really excited where we're going. I have we have some exciting stuff to announce in 2025 that we're going to be doing that I think will help movers. And even if there's a lot of people who can do mail at the end of the day, we just think we're one of the ones that are going to do things a little bit differently and really have more of a personal touch with our clients as well. So
I love it, buddy. I love it. Super excited. We got to get Canada rolling.
Yeah, Canada needs something right now. And I wish there was a way to easily find it out. Obviously, every time we try to get there, we hit a roadblock, but I think soon enough, there's going to be something that can come out for you guys that really could help, just because right now it's tough, man.
Yeah. Before we kind of close off this whole thing, I really wanted to talk about two things, and it's going to involve Austin, even though he seems very distracted right now.
I'm posting, I'm tagging you guys.
He's posting a tag.
Look at this guy. He's posting right now. See, this is the king of social.
Exactly.
You nailed it.
Come on.
Is this the thumb up work? Oh, does mine working again? Cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we're like shiny objects thing. We're all about the thumbs up now. Austin, the guy is so humble. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that he was an international speaker.
Whoa.
What? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit of what's happening on outside the moving system, but your personal brand is evolving. And I want to touch on that, and I want to touch on what's coming up here. What's happening here, this new army of come on.
Whoa.
So
Chaser's gonna chase. Matty Mailers, Chaser's gonna chase.
It's dropping on this Monday. What is that? December 22nd or something like that. 23rd. I have my the social media playbook. I revamped it. A special Canadian version. It's got video content, multiple angles. Your host Mark videoed it. It's pretty epic, guys. It was an opportunity to speak in a different country, take a vacation with my wife, and it was probably one of our favorite trips, like top at least top two. Mark inspired us to do hockey game, Niagara Falls, did it all, even checked out a movie company. And then, it was a great opportunity to see like, man, like, it's this industry is bigger than just us over in the US. Like this is worldwide. And like, there's our influence in what we're doing today is on the tip of innovation. And I want to have a bigger part in this. And so recently, Mattless Van Lines has asked me to speak. So that will be another opportunity. I'm getting into the professional speaking side of things. And then, with that leads up, me into I've been working with AD Elliott. I'm in this brotherhood. I've worked with Grant Cardone, and I really felt like there was a calling. And what we have that's special in this group is like this connectiveness that I felt like we've really lost, and we've lost some distrust with some of the leaders in our industry. I mean, a lot of them kind of looking at us just as like fish in the fish bowl and like scooping us up. And it's kind of messed up, like I felt like there was a connection, and then that I was just a number. And I'm like, I'm not just a number, I'm a real person. I have real people that rely on me, and it's time to take a stand. And so I'm calling out in this industry, it's an all-out war. And right now I'm calling out a war for change. Where moving companies are inspired. We're partnering together as independents, and we're the moving army. And I'm going to lead this. I've got sales coaching videos. I've got social media videos. I've got everything in between. We've got 2025 scaling versus failing. No one's going to want to miss this. It's super affordable. It's not even $4.99. It's not $2.99. It's $149. You get a group team Zoom call on Mondays right now. And this is just the beginning, guys. We have a custom CEO WhatsApp group. We have a Friday role play. And I'm going to pass the baton back to Matt. Tell me what your guy Nate, after two calls, one Zoom and one Monday accountability call, tell us some amazing like changes and just Nate's going on and his energy and the feedback that you guys got.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So let's talk about it. I am so I'm unbelievably excited for Austin's school. When he announced it, I wanted to be the first customer to sign up, and I think I was, not sure. Regardless, like I'm excited for Austin to do this because I want to support him too and what he's doing. And he wants to bring other movers together. We've always said that the Let's Go Boys go so much deeper and so much further. I think we saw that with the Let's Go Invitational when we had the golf tournament. There's so many people who wanted to be involved in that. And it was just infectious energy. Sometimes we lack that energy of, and if you know anything about Austin, the dude brings some energy to it. So let's get
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's cut to the chase, right? We're putting Neacail to sleep, so we're going to wake him up. We might have to get some Qigong going on. Regardless, so let's get into it. So Santa Yarborough, do some Qigong for us, Josh. So Nate is my general manager. Amazing dude. I sit there, probably harp on him way too much. And sometimes I feel like what I say kind of falls on deaf ears. And it's not because he's a bad guy. It's because I'm the only guy who's there to give him anything. Now he knows Austin, he knows Neacail, he knows the Let's Go Boys, he knows how much you guys mean to me. And so when I was able to pull him in and Austin said, hey, invite your team to this, I just want to see what happens, I said, all right, well, let's just invite Nate, let's get him in there. It was a great opportunity in the role play to hear Nate do a mock phone call. And in that process, not only Austin, but Neacail was also able to give him honest feedback. And the next week he's on fire. He's booking like a wild man. I think we're going to be up December versus November. And I'm really excited because I think sometimes in sales and sometimes in, management and such, you can kind of grow a little stagnant, but a little boost from the boys that are doing it themselves, that are up 30% year on year, was exactly what we needed. And so for $149, it was stupid no-brainer. Like all day, I would give Austin my money for this any day of the week, and it's already paid dividends. Austin challenged Nate to book 7,500 on Monday, and he booked over 10K. So thank you so much,
Nice.
Austin. Let's go.
Let's go.
Peace.
Go. And if I'll tell you what, guys, look, this is a 10x investment. Like if it's not worth the value, it's month to month, so you can leave anytime. And I'm not just selling you the stuff. You're like, if it's not a 10x investment in you, your team, your company, your family, your life, your fitness, everything in between, then don't join this group. If you don't want to grow, if you don't want to commit for the next 100 days to self-mastery, to self-development, to self-fulfillment, to inspiring, you know, to changing your mindset. Like, don't be a part of this group. But if you do want change and you're ready to change and you're like, I want to see what this shit's all about. Is Austin just saying some bullshit or is he for real on this? Like, I'm here and I'm leading point. I'm partnering with you. And one thing that I know right now is that there is a lack of self-confidence in our industry, in ourselves. And I think we all share it, you know, and us doing great numbers and growing. It's like, you know, most people are broken inside right now. And I think like I'm on your team. I'm your inside guy. We're in these calls. I'm analyzing your teams. I'm giving you the feedback. You tell me what you want to see out of your team, and I'll be the guy to take them to the next level. We're all going together, and I just can't wait to what this 2025 year brings because, man, we're just turning up the heat right now. It's started.
I'm so excited right now, Austin. I mean, where would I go to find out about something like this?
Where can we go? How do we sign up?
Go to my Instagram profile, Austin_Central Coast Moving, DM me, Moving Army, or you can go on school, download this app. I know it's a new medium. The reason why I chose a new medium is because we're doing new shit. This isn't old shit. This isn't Kajabi. This isn't Lightspeed. This is new shit that's easy to use. It's affordable, and it's great for you.
I love you guys.
How do you spell school? Is that
SCHOOL? School.
Oh,
Download the school app and search Moving Army. And then I actually have a special form too, so it'll message me. And then I message you a form, get your address, your name. I've got a little gift I'm mailing out. You know, we're getting started with this 100-day fitness challenge. That's a free gift to everyone that's in it. Those of you, I think Murdock's is on the way. Matt's on the way right now. We're crossing off X's. We're going 100 days hard, baby. Screw this 75 thing. We want 100 days, 45 minutes of exercise each day. And you know what? You don't even have to do it. You don't even have to do the fitness challenge. It's just a bonus. It's just a freebie in there.
Not 99 days, 100 days.
Yeah, there's value in that because as a team and in a group, we're getting 1% better each day because we're an army. We're stronger together and we're more powerful. And we're unified. You know, when one of us goes to war, we all go to war. And it's time to disrupt this market and take over as a family. Let's go.
Let's go. One thing I want to throw in there.
Let's go.
Is that right now, anyone who signs up who's also a Movingletters.ai member, we're going to actually give their first month back as a member credit for joining Austin's school. So if anyone who's listening, who's already a Moving Letters family member, come join Austin's school. You guys got to check it out. You're going to get your first month free from the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Matty Mailers. Let's go.
Let's go.
Matty Mailers throwing them out.
Well, boys,
there.
this has been an absolute pleasure. I love when we get to connect. There's so much energy in here. People see it. They love it. They love for when we get together. I want to wish all of you boys a happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and happy New Year to 2025. See you later, 2024. I love you, boys. And
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. And Merry Christmas to everybody listening. All my Movified followers, I really appreciate it. Make sure you're liking, making sure you're subscribing, and shoot us with always new content. I want to know what you want to hear, what kind of questions that you want answered, because that's the name of the game, and we just want to be here to support. So make sure you're checking out Moving Army. Make sure you're following all of us on social media, because why not? And make sure if you haven't signed up for Moving Letters, get on it today. And start 2025 off in the right direction. Boys, thank you so much, and stay Movified.
Let's go.
Let's go. Stay Movified.
Let's go.
Let's go. What's your 2025 goals, Mark? Let's go.
Well, first, I'm going to really work on my mascara and my blush around my eyes, because
You look like an emo kid, bro.
You look like you just got back from a rave.
I look like someone just beat the shit
And it
out
got
of
a
me.
little rough.
So for anybody that's going to be
Chris,
tuning
you're
in,
still rolling. Nick, it's okay.
Just a pretty
it's
little
okay,
girl.
Nick.
The cows. He just
He's so
like, fuck
sad.
this.
He's
not ready to
miserable.
cut out.
He's gotten paler and paler as it goes on. This is going to be the add-on. I didn't want to make it into a part of the podcast, but about 2 hours ago, before we started this, I went in for an eyelid surgery to help extract, and it's quite interesting because you can see there's still blood coming down my side eyes. So I am committed. Just like, when it comes to Movified, I am committed to making sure this happens. And one thing that anybody that has done types of virtual conferences or anything else, it is tough to put 5 business owners together and schedule times, especially when there's time differences across, because we are spanning from the East Coast to the Mid Coast to the West Coast. So I am not going to let my boys down to make sure that this gets done. We really wanted to put this together for all our listeners. And that's just the way it rolls. My 2025 goals are wild for what I got. And, like Austin said, if you don't put it on the wall, if you don't manifest it, and my wife was kind of giving me shit for this for 2024, because it was such a weird year from the transition from 2023 to 2024, where I was kind of down. I realized, we had such a bad year in 23. I had a goal for 24. I've hit the goal. I didn't exceed the goal, but she came to me a couple of weeks ago and said, you need to start manifesting, and you need to focus on, because when you were focusing on the goals within your moving company, and we talked about this earlier with Moving Letters and a moving company, when I think of where I'm at with the podcast and my moving company, I'm manifesting big things. So my goal going into 2025 is a larger commitment for myself in investing my time, not relying on my moving consultants, but relying on who I am as the owner, as someone that's really good at talking, someone's really good at networking, and getting out there way more. So I have my EA actually set up like 200 realtors, setting up email templates, setting up meetings for me, just to be like launching out there and hitting the ball right off the top of the year, so that my first quarter is far exceeding than I ever have in any of the years that I've been part of Sam's Moving and Storage. So that's my biggest goal. And also to make sure that the best content's coming out there for my podcast, right? I really appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. I love where it's going. And I just really appreciate the love that everybody's been giving me. So thank you.
Let's hear it out from Mark. Come on.
Let's go, Mark.
Yeah.
Can I expand on that a little bit? Because, we really need to analyze what we did well in 2024. Like Mark was just talking about, the networking, the relationships, communication. What did you do? What are your top 4 to 5 things that your company did well? And how can you, instead of trying to chase the shiny things, how can you double down on those for 2025 and have a bigger impact in the community, in your business, in your personal life, and just double down? Like, what works well will work more if you double down on it, and don't try to be things you're not. So I love that you're doing that, Mark. Manifesting the shit. Tell us, where will Movified be and where will Sandins be? Let's put this shit on the board right now.
Movified is going to be and if it's not already, the #1 moving podcast that people want to listen to. Now, there are other moving podcasts out there, but I also just want to be part of the home service podcast platform where we're up there. And speaking of the video content that we have initiated and we put out there, supposedly, and I tip my hat off to, Matt and all his help and support with getting this stuff going, but I'm in the top 15% on Spotify for video podcasts. So let's just keep that going. All this stuff is going out there.
Top 5 or top 10?
I want to get into the top 5. That would be amazing to get to. Where Movified's going to is I want my platform on my website to be more of a resource tool that people can go to based on the sponsors, the people that we have on the show, resource tools to kind of get out there for maybe different types of chatbots, apps that are out there, and also merchandise, guys. I really want to pump out and have everybody sporting the Movified shirts, whether it's shirts, hats, stickers, anything you can think of. We want to kind of have that brand out there. I know it's a brand and I want to make it happen. And that's me. That was my 4 things. Some of the things I did well for a moving company was the operational side of things. We really honed down on how the trucks were being dispatched in the morning, what was going on for inventory for the supplies. I noticed in 2023, we were constantly losing money on packing supplies. They were just going out like hotcakes. And I don't think guys were marking them down enough on the supplies. So we went back, made sure that was being taken care of by our warehouse manager, and we've made sure that the supplies are being charged, and the numbers have went up. So that's been really effective. And I want to just pass it off to everybody else because we kind of had a podcast go on already for a long time, and Austin's trying to make this go into like a 2-hour podcast. So
2-hour Christmas special.
Part 2, baby. Welcome to part 2.
Chasers gonna chase.
The chasers are gonna chase. We got Mr. Shipman in the house.
Let's go.
sorry,
Maddie-
Mark. Give me top 2. Let's not do top 4. Let's do top 2. Let's tap this part 2 as a
Top
quick
2 goals.
top 2 things that worked really well for you this year.
Oh man, social media, me getting out there and being the voice of the brand of Moving Letters, right? Like the Moving Letters page really didn't do anything. It was just mainly me who was out there pushing it, which was really great. Hiring good people at the letter business to help, you know what I mean? Like cultivating good people to, actually handle their stuff. It's crazy the caliber of employees that I'll get over at the letter business versus the moving company. But at the end of the day, man, maybe it's just because of what I see and what I feel. So I think that has worked really well for me this year.
Nice. I love it.
All right, Big Shipman here. Big Ship. Let's go.
2 things that work really well for me this year, really defining a new role for myself within the company. We've gone through some changes in the past year, opening up a new branch, hiring on more people, bringing on the new operations manager, and setting a path for him to take over my job as general manager within the next 2 years. So that has worked really well, being able to not only be successful in my business life, but in my home life. I talked a lot about, you guys know,
Great balance.
Olive is the apple of my eye, and
yeah.
I love her, and I am very fortunate to be able to spend the time with her and just really focusing on personal development and giving time to my wonderful wife Shannon, because that she took the back seat to the business for so long, and I'm just like, it was just like eye-opening, like, what are you doing, dude? Like, this is the love of your life. This is your partner for life. If everything else went away, she'd be standing right beside me the entire time. So really, our relationship has really grown as I have taken on this new approach. So those are the 2 things that have gone really well for me this year.
Neacail?
That's awesome, Josh.
Thank you.
That is awesome. I love the balance.
Yeah,
Yep.
Josh, and you made way to make me feel like a piece of crap that I didn't mention my wife or my kid. Fuck. I thought this was a business podcast, but all right.
He always, he's like,
Hey, now you get to set some goals for 2025.
I've talked about that in our accountability meeting with Austin. We got pretty deep the other day about some feelings.
There you
and,
go.
Feelings get
just-
hurt,
Yeah. When home is good, life is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Neacail, are you
Yeah.
still alive?
I am.
That dude said the only thing that's gone good for me is
I'm here.
nothing. He's
With
miserable.
top 2 things going well this year professionally, and then top 2 things going well best for you personally.
Well, now I feel all uncomfortable about my mic quality here.
Yeah, way to make him feel like a piece of shit, Mark. How are you?
Don't worry about it.
was
It's
it
nothing as
me?
bad as Austin's.
We'll turn it up in post.
Don't worry.
Okay. You're right. I have a webcam and a mic in one, and I think that's the problem.
Me too. Yeah. I prepare for
Anyway,
you.
What's going well in the company? 2 things, and then personally 2 things. Is that the question here? So 4. Is that it? Is that good?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Professionally, obviously we're way up on sales. I just, had one of my last meetings with my CPA. I've actually got one this Friday. Our last meeting, we were up, almost like Austin. I think it's like 40-ish%. Double what we did last year. So I'm pretty excited. Wouldn't that be 2x or 200%.
You're gonna do
100%.
times?
100% would be like
I'm not a math major. So we're fucking crushing it as far as like just becoming a household mover. I went to a holiday party, and this guy who I'd never met before in my life somehow found out that I'm the owner of Murdock's, and he came sat down to me for about 5 minutes. It was like, "You're the owner of Murdock's?" He's like, "Bro, when I think moving, I think you." He's like, "Screw
That's
that."
cool.
Dude.
He was just like, I never met this guy in my life, and he's just some random Chico local. So I was pretty excited to hear that. We've really been crushing the affiliates. It actually surpassed Google for the first time ever. So I was really surprised. So I think that's really what keeps you going in those slow months is that word of mouth.
Yeah.
Totally.
Really excited about that professionally. I have a great group of guys. I was actually hiring in the winter, which is kind of gnarly. Looking for guys. So, you know, we're a steady pace. You know, guys got their Christmas bonuses yesterday. I got guys checking on me because they know I'm not sick. Like, hey man, you okay? Everything good? About 8 different employees that checked on me. The rest of them are fired. But
Get them.
but yeah, I mean, professionally, I think we got a great team on the phone. Shout out to Austin. You know, he's really, you know, after that last Friday role play, I had about our group text that the sales team was blowing up about how good that was and what they took from that. Each one of them takes something from it, you know? So it was really good. I think as a company, we're really strong right now, and we're going to roll into 2025 really, really well. Personally, you know, I just got sick, but fitness, you know, I've been going to the gym at 6 a.m. every single morning. I don't miss days unless I can't get out of bed. Yeah. I feel like less of a person if I don't make it to the gym. So it's just kind of ingrained into my being. I've been taking reading books very seriously. You know, I went on a whole book buying tangent. And so, you know, I read at least 10 pages a night, if not more. So that's been going really well. I think I've been developing as a person very, very strongly. So overall, I think my personal development is going strong. I have a lot to thank this group for. I'm not married. I don't have kids. You know, I got a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the big family you have. You have 4 brothers here.
4 dudes.
The dudes.
4 best friends that anybody could have. I love it here.
Shannon and I
Awesome.
had a talk last night, and we decided to designate you as Olive's spiritual guide leader.
Oh.
Damn.
That was just
sweet.
serious.
You
That was
should have
like,
rolled with that, bro.
Wow.
well,
Jeez.
dude, starting with that episode 2.
That's a part 2 opener.
Not me.
Oh, that's
you know, I've
awesome.
made a lot of poor decisions in my life. You know, I've done some not so great things that I'm not proud of, but I think that I've, you know, really become, you know, the owner that people want to see in this company, you know, and I've fought some things off, you know, like addiction and some other things that I was a part of that that doesn't define me. So, you know, I'm clean. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I'm not doing anything but just working.
That's great,
So
man.
I think
I love it, buddy.
Can I shout out Neacail? If nobody has seen this, I mean, go to his Facebook page. I think I shared it on mine. That video of you speaking at the college, man, was so freaking inspirational, man, that I was like, I am so honored to call you my friend, man, either way, I don't know how that works, but man, that is so cool. And I'm so proud of Neacail to see him grow from, you know, a person I met at some of these moving events years ago. No offense. I saw Austin and him, they'd hang out a lot. I kind of thought you guys were jokers, man, you know, or the dunce of the groups. I mean, I'm sure I was too. But now, like, just seeing that growth, man, and you getting up on stage like that was truly inspirational. And I can't wait for 2025 for more speaking events for you, Neacail. So that was so cool.
Thank you.
There you go.
You know, it's
Too.
really kind of surreal that like I actually got arrested during college and almost got expelled to getting awards and now speaking at it. It's kind of trippy.
Yeah.
I got
That's
this
so cool.
guy I met that I'm going to connect you with to read a book, you know, and you don't have to finish it yet, but you get it at least started through halfway.
Yeah, I'm reading 50 Cent's book, and then I'm gonna read the book Josh got me, Born to Run.
Yeah.
And
Hustle
then
harder.
from there, Dude, that book is good.
It's so good.
That's my book tonight. I finished. Murdock's inspired me to finish my book. I hit a wall like third into it, and he was just like, "I challenge you by the end of the year to finish a book, bitch." And I was like, "All right, bitch, you read a
Damn.
book."
Why am I not in this
Austin?
book club? Jeez.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
reading.
left out.
I'm reading again. Buy Back Your Time and B 2.0. So I'm trying to get those ones all completed as well too. So it's important. It's really important to keep the brain going and reading. If I'm not reading a book, I'm listening to an audiobook in my car. If it's not a podcast. Austin, what was your two?
All right, I'll keep it short, dude.
Yes.
So in 2025, what'd he say?
He's like, is it still recording?
Nick is like,
He
are
thought
you
we were
recording
off.
Oh, this is part two.
I thought we were off the quick because you're telling me.
No, you aren't off the books,
This is
and you
where
haven't
it was
made poor
real, man.
decisions.
It got so
You
real
just,
in part two.
yeah, you haven't made poor decisions. You've just lived a full life.
Part one.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
So, okay, guys, reversing it. 2025, I've made a decision for creating a media company. And so, like, we're Central Coast Moving, like, you wouldn't. No, like the media for Central Coast Moving, like doubling down on that. Like, we're not a moving company, we're a marketing and sales and media company. Because you know what? I want my rivals, shout out to Meathead and Inkstaff. I want you guys to see our social media next year, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, I'm 2 years behind this guy. And we're going to do that, and it's going to improve our referral and reviews through social media and relationship building. I think that was the biggest one this year, building trust and doing the right thing when no one's looking.
Austin, hold on to cut you off. I love what you said to me on the phone the other day. Can you say this to the group? You when there's other guys, they're going to look at you, and you are, what was it? You run faster.
Oh, through December? Wow.
No, running backwards.
Oh, I was like, I want these guys. Yeah, that's the same topic. I was like, I want these guys to look at me and try to keep up with me, but I'm running so fast, I'm just wiping them out, and I'm going backwards.
I loved it. I loved it.
But yeah, so my personal side, I think like the best thing is, with my wife, Lauren, we were married this year. You guys were there. And I really felt like, this alignment with her, spiritually, physically, emotionally, like on the same wavelength. I want to definitely commit more to that, more trips and traveling and events together, and then just helping other businesses. On my personal side, I really want to dive into the fitness as a number one goal as well. So on and off the tracks, full throttle. Andy called me out the other day and said, I need you to promise me fitness and health is going to be number one for you and everything else will follow. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, boys. Yeah. Go
one
ahead,
thing.
Maddie.
Can after this is done, can we make a GIF of Santa Yarborough going, holy shit? Sorry, I'm going to have to catch that. Sorry, I had to interrupt, but.
Well, it's great. Guys, we're going to sign off again. This was a part two, unexpected. Neacail actually for the last 20 minutes just thought we were shooting the shit, which is what these podcasts are meant to be. It is always so humorous. And for the behind the scenes, a lot of guys that have been on our show, I usually chat, right? We're usually like kind of shoot the shit a couple minutes before we even actually start recording. And then it's usually like maybe 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. And some of the best content comes after the podcast that I've hit stop and they're like, oh, good, it's over. And then it's like all these amazing stories come out and you're like, this is what I wanted on the podcast. And so this is kind of how part two came up, because I had to take my glasses off and go, guys, my eyes are killing me right now because the freezing and the pain meds have kicked off about 20 minutes into the first part. So, but you know what? This is the way I love it. Austin wanted a bunch of questions. He wanted to hit us with some more topics. This is how our group works. If you don't have a group, we brought it up before when we were heading out to the Titan retreat, but we really suggest that you find a group, that you make it happen. And I really hope that Josh is looking over, because all of his hiding from the camera, and we would love to see her to say Merry Christmas.
Oh, Shannon, you just made the podcast.
Hi, Shannon.
Let's go!
Let's go.
She can't hear you, fortunately. Come here, sweetie.
Fortunately. Damn.
There she is. There she is.
There she
There's the
is.
princess. Oh,
Olives
Hey,
on
okay,
Movified. You made it.
All right, everybody, tell Olive happy birthday. How old are you now, Olive? 4 years old. How about that? Just
Ha-
turned 4 this
happy
year.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Olive.
And Olive, you're gonna say what's coming next week? You're gonna
What's
say
next week?
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay movified and happy holidays. Thanks, guys.